I want you to imagine an arena filled to the brim. On the court, there are two teams with whatever prime athletes you can think of the best physically across all sports. The sport being played is like basketball, soccer, and MMA combined. The goal is simple: get the ball through the hoop. And the losing team? Yeah, sometimes they would be sacrificed. This is the ancient Maya game of Pitz. Over 3,000 years ago, civilizations across Mesoamerica's jungles played a mysterious and intense ballgame. The Maya Empire called it Pitz, while other cultures, like the Aztecs, had their own versions and varieties of the game. At its core, the sport was played on massive stone courts shaped like the capital letter I. Some of these courts were enormous, stretching longer than a football field. The most famous one today sits at Chichen Itza, and it's the largest court found in the region. The game itself was brutal and physically demanding. Players had to keep a heavy rubber ball in motion using only their hips, thighs, torso, and sometimes elbows. Like modernized soccer today, no hands were allowed. And like modern-day basketball, the objective was to get the ball through a hoop, in the Mayan case, a stone ring. Protective gear in that time really only consisted of leather, so like modern UFC fights, the brutality was there as teams did whatever they could to stop the other team from scoring. However, in the past, the ring of a bell couldn't save the losers, and surviving the game was only the first part of the challenge. To the Maya, Pitz wasn't just a game, it was sacred, and a game rooted in social life and religion. Overall, the sport symbolized the eternal struggle between cosmic forces, light versus dark, order versus chaos, and yes, life versus death. One of the most famous Maya myths tells the story of twin heroes who challenged the gods of the underworld to a ballgame. In the legend, the ballgame literally determined the balance between the human world and the underworld known as Xibalba. So every time Pitz was played, it wasn't just athletes competing, it was a sacred reenactment of this cosmic battle. The ball itself often symbolized the sun or celestial bodies moving through the sky. Every strike, every rebound, and every point had a spiritual meaning. They were playing for balance in the universe. Now, outside of religious purposes, Pitz also carried significant weight socially. Straight entertainment spectacles and conflict resolution were also on the table for this ancient sport. History suggests rulers could have used matches to settle disputes between cities, determine territorial control, hash out alliances, and prove leadership legitimacy. Now let's go back to the previous mention of human sacrifice. Researchers still aren't 100% sure how human sacrifice factored into the game, but they suggest that religiously, losers provided an opportunity to show devoutness for the gods. Some modern research even suggests that the winning team's captain was the one sacrificed and was seen as an honor that allowed them to join the gods. Socially, conflict resolutions could have had losers killed, or no players specifically were killed, and captive kings or high lords were the ones who met their demise. It's likely we just might never know the complete truth behind the killings. Proof of ritual sacrifice at these sites mainly shows death by decapitation. Ancient carvings at Chichen Itza itself depict scenes showing a decapitated player with serpents or streams of life emerging from the neck. Whether winners or losers were sacrificed likely depended on region, time period, and ceremonial purpose. But one thing is certain: Pitz was played in a world where the stakes extended far beyond the scoreboard. Pitz thrived while the Maya dynasty thrived. However, the mega-drought that led to widespread famine and the advancement of cities and the overall death of the empire led to the sport's demise. While the sport lived on sporadically throughout Mesoamerica after the Maya collapse, it was the arrival of Spanish conquistadors that ended it once and for all. In the 1500s, many indigenous rituals and cultural practices were suppressed and eliminated and viewed as pagan. It was exactly the type of religious practices they sought to eradicate with their conquest. Therefore, ball courts were abandoned, ritual traditions were lost, and the game that once symbolized the fate of the universe slowly disappeared into ancient history. Thankfully, today, modern communities in Mexico and Central America have revived versions of the ancient game to help preserve cultural heritage. Archaeologists and historians continue to discover new quartz and artifacts that really reveal how important Pitz was to these ancient communities. This is a game that we can directly still relate to today, too. It's a reminder to us that sports aren't just a game and are always more than the competition. They reflect our struggles, our beliefs, and stories about our place in this universe. If you enjoy uncovering history, lost civilizations, and ancient mysteries, make sure to like and subscribe to Lost Earth. History isn't just what we're taught, it's what we've forgotten.